Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, today I am going to be going over some ratio and rates problems. Some of these have to do with like unit rates, which is what we talked about before, and others of these have to do with other types of rates as well. So, I wanted to do kind of a full session to go over them based on some feedback I have been receiving on what topics are important to everyone. So let's go ahead and go through with this one. Okay. So the first question asks, a Ferris wheel can accommodate 65 people in 25 minutes. How many people could ride the Ferris wheel in 6 hours? What was the rate per hour? Okay, so there's a few things we need to do to answer this question. And there's also a couple different questions here. They first ask how many people could ride in 6 hours, and that's a separate question from how many people for 1 hour. Okay, but to find any of that, the only current rate we have is actually in minutes, right? At 65 people could ride in 25 minutes. Okay, and so we have to switch that to 6 hours. So 6 hours is how many minutes, is my first question. Well, 6 hours times 60 minutes in 1 hour would be 360 minutes. And the thing is, that does not evenly divide 25. And so it's not going to be that simple. What we must first do is we must find out how many people in 1 minute and then multiply that by 60. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 65 people. We're going to divide that by 25 minutes to get that it's 2.6 people in 1 minute, right? So I'm going to write that down actually, 2.6 people per minute. And then if we multiply that by 60, we're going to get how many people in an hour. And it's going to be 156 people per hour, right? And then now we want to know what is the rate for 6 hours. Well, then let's multiply that by 6 to get the rate for 6 hours. That's going to be 936 people per 6 hours. Okay, so what did we just do? I'm going to go over it again. So what we first did is we said, here's 65 people for 25 minutes. We took 65, we divided by 25 to get that it's 2.6 people per 1 minute. Then I multiplied by 60 to get how many people in an hour. If it's 2.6 per 1 minute and we want to get to 1 hour, what must we do to go from a minute to an hour? We must multiply by 60 because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So we get 156 people in 1 hour. Then they want to know, okay, how many people for 6 hours? Well, how many hours are there in 6 hours? Well, there's six, right? So 156 times six gets us gets us 936. So now to answer their questions, the 936 people can ride in 6 hours. And that is 156 people per hour, right? That's 156 people per hour. That's the rate. Awesome. Let's do the next one, number 2. A jet travels 500 miles in 5 hours. At this rate, how far could the jet fly in 14 hours? What is the speed of the jet? So usually speed of the jet would be the same as like a unit rate, right? Because miles per hour represents speed, or same with kilometers per hour, that represents speed. So we're actually going to find that first. We're going to say we have 400 miles in 5 hours. So what's 400 miles divided by 5? That gets us 80. So that means that the rate of speed is 80 miles per hour. Then they asked, how far could the jet fly in 14 hours? So if it's 80 miles in 1 hour, how many for 14 hours? We multiply by 14 and we get 1,120 miles in 14 hours at this rate. So now we've answered both questions. We said the rate of speed of the jet is 80 miles per 1 hour. And that means in 14 hours at this rate, we could travel 1,120 miles, which I'm guessing is a lot. I think so. I'm not really sure. How fast or relatively quick this is with given that it's jet. But either way, that's going to be our answer, that we can fly 1,120 miles in 14 hours at this rate. Okay, awesome. This one asks, you can buy 3 apples at Quick Market for $1.29. You can buy 5 of the same apples at the Stop and Save for $2.30. Which place is the better buy? So this is actually a very similar question to a question we did previously. I'm still going to do it here though as well, just to review it. So let's start with the Quick Market. We'll say QM for Quick Market. It's 3 apples for $1.29. So $1.29 divided by 3 will give us the cost per apple. So it's 43 cents per apple. Per apple. Now, what about Stop and Save? Well, hopefully they're actually getting you to save money. Otherwise, their title is interesting. But let's see. $2.30 for 5 apples. So 2.3 divided by 5 is actually 46 cents per apple. So therefore, they didn't give us a lot of room to write, but therefore Quick Market is the better buy. Now again, only by a few cents here. It wouldn't really matter, so perhaps whatever place is most convenient for you is the one you should go to. But yeah, Quick Market, you'll save 3 cents for every apple you buy by going to Quick Mart over Stop and Save. Long story short. Okay. The bakers at Healthy Bakers can bake 160 bagels in 5 hours. How many bagels can they bake in 24 hours? What is the rate per hour? Well, let's see. If it's 160 bagels for 5 hours, then 160 divided by 5 is 32. So that means that it's 32 bagels per hour. Awesome. And then they ask how many bagels can they bake in 24 hours. So if it's 32 bagels per hour or for 1 hour, we multiply that by 24 and we get 768. So 768 bagels can be baked in 24 hours, assuming everyone could stay up that late, or maybe they take turns, actually is more likely. And some people work 12 and then some people work the next 12 or something like that, or maybe 8, 8, and 8. But either way, at this rate, 768 bagels can be baked in 24 hours. So that's a lot. Okay. Number 5 says you can buy 5 cans of green beans at Village Market for $3.30. You can buy 10 of the same cans of beans at Sam's Club for $6.70. Which is the better buy? So Sam's Club is actually going to be slightly the better buy. You'll save 10 cents throughout your purchase by going to Sam's Club. But let's do that with the unit rates. That's what they really want us to do. So for Village Market, how much does it cost per can? Well, if it's $3.30 per can, or sorry, for 5 cans, then we divide that by 5 and we get that it's 66 cents per can. For Sam's Club, it is going to be $6.70 for 10 cans, right? So that's going to be, we divide by 10, we get 67 cents per can. So by getting, the Village Market deal twice, we save 10 cents. So again, not a very big deal, not very much. We only save 1 cent per can and 10 cents across our purchase, but I digress. Long story short, Village Market has a slightly better deal. So the Village Market beans are a slightly better buy. Awesome. All right, let's do number 6 next. An ice cream factory makes 330 quarts of ice cream in 5 hours. How many quarts could be made in 36 hours? What was the rate per day? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So if it's 5 hours, 330 quarts of ice cream in 5 hours. First, we need to find out what's the rate per hour. So 330 divided by 5 gives us 66 quarts per hour. Now, how do we get the quarts per day? Well, if we know it's 66 in an hour and there's 24 hours in one day, if we do 66 times 24, we get 1,584 quarts per day at that rate. So that's the rate per day. And then they ask how many could be made in 36 hours. So for that, we do 66 times 36, which gives us 2,300. 2,376 quarts can be made in 36 hours, right? And keep in mind 1,584 quarts per day. That's another part of our answer, so I'll underline that too, because they also asked what is the rate per day, which is interesting. Often they've asked what is the rate per hour, what is the speed, things like that. This time they asked for the rate per day. All right, let's do one last question here, and then I promise it will be the end of not only this lesson, but all of Unit 2. You'll be halfway done the course after this one last question. Gas mileage is the number of miles you can drive in a gallon of gasoline. A test of new car results in 540 miles on 20 gallons of gas. How car could you drive on 40 gallons of gas, and what is the car's gas mileage? So, you might already be able to guess that if we just multiply this by 2, we can get from 20 gallons to 40 gallons. And so the answer is 1,080, and that is correct. But they also ask, what is the car's gas mileage, or how many miles per gallon of gas can we get? So for that, we must do 540 miles divided by 20 gallons to find out that the gas mileage on this vehicle is 27 miles per gallon, right? And that's something when people buy cars, they care about, right? They want to get more miles for every gallon so that they're saving money on gas and not spending, tons of money on gas when they could get a car with a better gas mileage, right? So 27 miles per gallon. And then if we multiply that by 40, or if we just multiply 540 by 2, we will get that it's 1,080 miles for 40 gallons of gas. Awesome. All right. Well, that is the end of not only today's session, but also of Unit 2. Next time, we're going to do Unit 3, and that's going to be all about lines and linear equations. And then we'll also get into some geometry stuff as well. But yeah, that is all for today. Good work, everyone. Congratulations on finishing Unit 2, and best of luck on your test. Bye, everyone.